Yeah, hi Ron. Um, so, mm, Yesterday we were discussing on process-oriented storage control, and we completed picking, packing. We were just stuck with the last step of loading. I'm just trying to. I didn't get time to check yesterday, but I just want to check one point. Um, mm, Actually, the staging bay should be 9025. Yeah, I think that's the issue. So what I'm going to do is. We'll cancel the picking and change the staging bay. So this delivery is now open. It's not allowing me to change here. Mm, so let me create another delivery. I'll change the counter to 0. I will create another delivery from UCC. When it does take some time, with this topic, but since there are so many interlinking things, but yeah, we need to ensure that it's working. Warehouse. So we are one in delivery again. Delivery for 4. We created delivery for 4. Now, yesterday we saw how do we pack and repack. So we'll just simply move it directly from packing and just one handling on it. Our focus today will be more on loading. Show SMQ2. Sorry, SMQ. Now on the EWM side, we have to assign the delivery to the steel. Now we'll go into this uh, slash o slash cwm slash prgo. So this is our order. I'll just go and create a task. And Alright, create a task. I need to can change this staging area. I think for process type it is coming as 9010 GI zone. We don't want GI zone, we want it to be 9025. So either we change the process type or put some determination for that. I'm just trying to first put it manually. And let's do one thing. Let us change in the process type 2010. Do we have a task created for this? Slash here for 2010, let us say the staging is 9025 because the same staging we need to get it here in the open delivery. Then only our loading will work. Sorry, we need to go to process type. So I'm going to warehouse task process type. Two zero one zero, and I will change to 9025 and bin is staging. Okay. Let us create another delivery now. Should be outbound inside. So here we get, the 9025M staging bin. Okay. Then let us now assign it to the TU. Mm, okay. Then let us now try the picking, packing, and loading. So again, we'll go through all the steps. So first we start with picking. Confirm the task. As I've said, there are different ways of confirming the task. One is via RF, and the other is desktop. Then you can confirm it on the monitor screen as well. Okay. Today, we'll go into what we have seen yesterday, packing. We'll directly go and complete the packing step for this handling unit. Okay. In this work center 159 handling unit is there. Okay. You just complete the packing and move this handling unit to the um, staging bin. Yeah. So this step is completed. We save. So we get a task now. So that task will be done in the RF gun of a person, who does the movement from packing to staging, and he will not be, able to confirm it. Let us confirm the task on the monitor. Moves to this bin. This is the task. Confirm task in the background. Okay, so now the HU is in the staging area. And now I think we should be able to load it. Okay, so it has created a warehouse task, but that task does not have a you know uh, queue assigned, so it's not allowing it to be confirmed. So you can see urban delivery order 11391 is the delivery. So you can see all the tasks. So you can see now yesterday, ZOB4 was not getting generated. Now it is getting generated. This task is created. This is a loading task, and if you see this task, there is no queue, that's why it's not allowing. But we want to see, what the loading task does. What it's doing is, it is taking from the staging, okay, and it is putting the stock on the TU. Destination is TU. So, basically loading, what we are trying to do is, we are trying to load it on a truck or a trailer. So now after we load it, the stock will not be seen in the staging area, it will be seen on the truck. So here you can see this is the door on which we move the truck. System is asking me to confirm the bin. Okay. So while loading, I just confirm it. So I think our tasks will now be confirmed, and we can see, all the list of tasks that we have generated for this outbound process. So we created ZOB1. There was nothing in packing, so it's not there. ZOB picking, then we didn't do packing, then ZOB3 we moved it to staging, and then ZOB4 we did the loading. Okay, now let us have a look at the delivery. The picking is complete, packing is complete, loading is also completed now. Okay, now what we can do is there are two things which are remaining for this outbound delivery. One is it should be checked out of the warehouse, and the other one is this delivery should be good issued. Okay, so I think in these also you can refresh. See, loading is complete. We can do a good issue from here itself. Okay, now the yard person, he has to take this. Okay, generally the good issue is done in background. Once the loading is done, you can set up a batch job so that it automatically, does the good issues. Everything is completed. Loading, good issue. Now we are going to move it to the checkpoint. It's at the door. Now we move it to checkpoint out, so that we are now able to complete the TU and send it outside the warehouse. I think we need to first move it outside the warehouse and then do the issue. Saving. And there is a sequence here. Let me first move to checkpoint, and then once I move it out of the yard, and then I'll do the issue. Error message. Is there a message? Move to checkpoint not possible due to status of TU. What's the status? Checkpoint not really started. Okay, I think what we need to do is I think when we completed the loading, we didn't get a message. Generally, we get a message based on the loading that the loading is completed. So, finish loading we need to do here. Generally, we get a message on the RF gun itself that the loading is completed. So, this indicator should be set. So, your loading is started, the task was created, but somehow, the thing now we should do the issue. Should be okay. After good issue. I think good issue sequence should not matter because it's done by badge of either you check out or you don't check out. Should not be an issue whenever a badge job is checks for a delivery for which picking and loading is completed. It will do the good issue. Okay, now it goes. So now you can see it set the checkpoint. We completed the delivery. We can get the, you know, we did the picking, packing, loading, good issue. Now let us complete it. ER activity also for outbound. We'll say departure plus save. It is in active status. It will be in completed status. So the entire operation for your outbound delivery is now completed. So this is how we work with POSC. Is it clear? You know, it does take a lot of time, practicing this and going through each and every steps. But yeah, once you are used to this, it will be faster. Okay. So first time your process when you set it up, it may take time, but as in when you keep practicing, it will come faster to you. So just remember the task. Just please note down your tasks, in the monitor. Okay, based on your steps. So is it clear? Any questions on POSC?
Yeah, hi Rohan. Is it possible in EWM to create an invoice or display invoice?
Invoice.
Yeah, for this.
Actually, it's not possible, but I think there is one context or one possibility that you can request invoice. You can print invoice. You request invoice in ECC. Maybe it does go and creates an invoice in ECC, but there is nothing as such invoice in EWM. Okay, so you have to set up this. So it will when cancel the invoice or print invoice in ECC, but it's not done here.
Okay. And we don't have any table to update that inbound and outbound activities where it's getting saved because we are done SPR all that. So it should go some table to save.
Which one? Sorry.
Any database table we have in this process, inbound and outbound process?
Yeah. We have tables. I think I have loaded this. I think what I generally share with. I think I have uploaded this in the shared drive. These are the list of tables in EWM. These are okay. These are T codes, and these are tables. So you can just go through these tables. Generally, these tables are not directly linked like we have it in ACC. Okay, so they are basically linked through GeoIDs. So if you see this table, so I think I have put it in the shared drive. If not, I will
No.
re-upload this. I'll upload this. So you don't search HU with the HU number. You search it with the GUID. See, GUID is always, so every parameter, every delivery has a GUID. So HU number, this is the HU number. It has this GUID sign, and let's say this is the HU and this is the GUID in a basic table. We'll identify the GUID for that particular delivery or for that particular handling unit, and then using that GUID you link. It's basically internally, the HU number or delivery number is not used in tables. For each of this element, a GUID is used. So see, I want to search the handling unit. I'm not search it based on the HU number. I will have to search it based on the GUID like this. So there is a table where your delivery are linked to a GUIDs, and that GUIDs you look for searching the other details.
So
Okay,
this
so that's the
GUID is
difference in the
auto-generated?
tables. Sorry?
This GUID is auto-generated?
Yes. It's internally created.
Okay, so if you want to like set to a web to display some reports and do some like modification on RF, so we have to ask for that table to search with based on GUID, right?
Correct. So every table has, most of the tables, is a, let's say, HU header table. You will get the HU information and the GUID for that HU. And then if you want to search what is the inbound delivery, then, I've just showed you. Then you can search it in an inbound delivery in HU reference table. You can enter the GUID for the HU and get if any delivery is there or something like that assigned to that HU. So if you are preparing any report or anything like that, so in that case also, in the foreground in your selection criteria, or let's say you get a handling unit, but you want to see what handling unit is assigned to which delivery. So for that handling unit table, your FS, you will write in such a manner that for that handling unit, search for the mm, GUID, then take the GUID and get the information on the um, objects assigned to it, either inbound delivery or outbound delivery, and then you can display it on a report. So every function specs you will have to do it that way. So I would suggest why for some time maybe when you are understanding the standard SAP, keep aside the tables. Don't go in the technical things. Since you guys are from ABAP, first try to understand the SAP standard product, okay, and enhancements and everything. Maybe you can go in a second step once you understand EWM completely and the standard functionalities completely. I mean that will come very easily to you since you all are from a website. So it's only a matter of time. But in this initial few weeks or months, while you are understanding EWM, try to understand the standard product first. Okay, so now we understood how the process works for outbound. Now let us see how the configuration, we'll do all the configurations for inbound. Okay, so for inbound, I mean what we'll do is I'll show you the configurations on inbound. Rather going through slides, let us do it in screen only. SP screen. Okay, so the difference between inbound and outbound is just one, that instead of you assigning the um, storage process, okay, to your delivery, to your storage process, to your warehouse order creation rule, we will now assign the storage process to our process type. Okay, so process warehouse task, define process oriented storage control. So let's say every warehouse will have at least one standard process. I showed you this in the process. I mean, I would suggest remove quality counting for your practice because that requires, I think, call it the QM master data. Okay, and just go with unloading, the consolidation, and put away. Okay, so you have these three steps. So deconsolidation will work if you are trying to receive inbound for where one HU has more than one product and both those products are to be stored separately into different storage type. Okay, so I think this is the, let's say, a standard inbound. And you have steps. Okay, so like we have outbound and we have outbound, same way we have inbound with steps. The storage process for inbound will have a direction of put away, and then you create a process, and then same like we did for outbound, each of the steps you will assign it to some work center and assign to some process type. Okay. So this is again, same like we did configuration. On the other one, each step you decide what process type should be used and where it should be taking you to. Then comes the main difference where we assign the process oriented storage control. We assign it not to the warehouse order creation rule. For inbound, we generally assign it to the process type. That is here. You can see storage process is assigned to them. So, and now if I want to use the storage process, so how do I get 1011? Using control indicator. So we have a control indicator. I mean, in the standard settings only there is a control indicator 01, and if for our warehouse WHKT I say inbound 01, then 1011 process type will be used. So if you want to use this storage process, then you can make it material specific by going here and changing the determination indicator to 01. So either you do this, or in your 1010 or your standard one, if you want to make it product specific, then change the indicator accordingly. If you don't want to make it product specific, make it general, like your normal inbound should go that way. In many of our customers, they say that no, we always want the POSC kind of inbound. So in their standard process type, we go and maintain the storage process. So irrespective of product, all will go through all the steps. But if in case you want to move the steps based on product, then you give this. So let's say in this there are some steps, and let's say you have another storage process where you have some more steps or some different steps. So you can get a new process type, and you can assign it to a different indicator to a product and determine that process type. Okay. So this is the only difference between inbound and outbound POC in terms of configuration. Okay. So you create your steps, and then you do the each stepwise configuration, then based on the indicator, and you determine it in the process type determination configuration, and the process type that we determine has that storage process assigned to it. So this is the configuration for inbound. Now we'll go to the next storage control, that is the layout oriented. See, process oriented storage control, you might have seen, lot of configuration, okay, a lot of steps, a lot of coordination between yard, warehouse, let's say work center and everything. But when it comes to the layout oriented storage control, it is comparatively very simple, and it has just one table assigned to it. Okay, so I will tell you how it works. A layout oriented storage control, it also requires handling it, but it can work for an inbound or outbound process. It can work for internal process. Okay, and it works, irrespective of uh, you know storage control is there or not. So now in our existing process, we pick, pack, stage, and loaded. Now we can also include layout there, where we do pick, pack. After packing, we say it goes via X storage type. So system will create two tasks, from staging to X storage type, from X storage type to, sorry, from packing to X storage type, and X storage type to staging bin. So you can include, you can kind of club both the inbound and outbound process together. sorry, storage control and layout oriented storage, process oriented storage control and layout oriented storage control together, and you can do your inbound and outbound process, or you can just use layout oriented storage control. So the idea is very simple, that I think we already discussed this, that instead of going from this storage type to this storage type, it goes via this, and then again you say, if you are moving from this storage to this storage type, go via the elevator. The system will create two tasks from here to here and here to here. So ultimately you end up moving this storage from this storage type to this storage type. You end up moving the stock from here to here, here to here, and then here to here. So this movement, LOSC or layer to storage control, it is not dependent on any other thing. It's just dependent on the source and destination. We say if it is moving from here to here, go via this. If it is moving from here to here, go via this. That's it. So it can be between your picking and packing bin. It can be from your packing and staging bin. Okay. It can be from your inbound to your deconsolidation area. You can go via something, or you can go from your deconsolidation to your put away. You can go via something. Okay. So basically, the basic idea here is that based on your layout constraint, okay, the goods do not travel directly from source to destination, but they go via some intermediate location. Okay, then it will work only with handling unit, and there is exception where it can be used as a pick point or identification point. Pick point or identification point means, whenever you are placing the stock in a bin, put away, generally we have a pick point means there is a storage set defined. The identification point, there is a storage type defined, like uh, let's say we want to put it in 8002 storage type. What we say is system will first take it to, let's say, 8001 storage type, where the labeling, cleaning and all other actions will be performed, and then it will move from 8001 to 8002. So basically, for identification of a product before it is moving into the actual bin, you generally define a identification type. Same way, before you pick the product and do the good issue, what we do is we pick the product and we take it to a pick point, and at the pick point we might club some more orders, and then from pick point we might deliver it to a customer. So pick point, you can, it always works in handler, but if it is pick point, you can pick product task using product task, and then in the pick point to further action you can do a handling unit task. Okay, same way in identification point you can move the stock to identification point in handling units, and from identification point to your destination when you can do a product movement. So that's the only exception to it. So in basic nutshell, it is just you don't do a movement directly, you move it via something. Okay. So based on the physical layout, okay, I'm just saying that this layout is, we do not restrict it for inbound, or we can also use for internal. Same way, we do not restrict it only for POSE, process oriented setting that we have seen. We don't link it to that process. See, that process that I showed you, it was linking yard, it was linking packing operation, okay, it was linking the staging operations, and there we can also include one more operation that goes via something. So not necessarily it always need that kind of big complicated process. It can be also done in a basic inbound order process. Let's say we instead of going to GI zone, it goes to a pre-GI zone, and from pre-GI zone it goes to the GI zone. That way also we can configure put away. We can say put away, don't go to 8002 directly, go via the storage time to 8002. Okay. Then we have this table, right? This is the only configuration that is required for layout oriented. So you can see it is so simple. Anything which goes into destination 0080 should go via 81. Anything which is removed from 80 should go via 82. Okay, and this is the bin, and this is the process type to be used. That's it. We can group storage types into storage type areas. Okay, and we can also decide based on HU type. Let's say if it is Euro pallet, it should do a staging. If it is cartons, it should not be. It should not do a staging. Okay, it should not go for LOC. Then we can also control whether for whole handling unit it should be applied or partial handling unit should be applied. So that is again a filter based on which you can decide whether you want to go for staging or not. Okay, so if we talk about process oriented in a process where we do process oriented and um, oriented together. So process oriented, let's say your task is unloading, then you do a counting, then you do a put away. So if you include layout also in that, so you do unloading, you do counting, you do identification at your using layer LOC, and then finally you do the put away. Okay. So when a possible interview question for you or probably a certification question which generally people ask and SAP asks is when you use process oriented and layout oriented, which system executes first? So EWM always executes the process oriented storage control first. Okay, so first system will determine what are the steps, and to achieve the process oriented storage control, if there are any layout restrictions, then the layout oriented are considered. Okay, so for executing the steps, you have a source and destination, right, from where to where it will be moving. And while those movements are to be carried out, if there are any hindrances or there are any concerns or they has to go via something, then your layout oriented will come into picture. Okay, so your process is this, and your process is adjusted, or your flow of material is adjusted. From unloading, it doesn't go to counting. It goes to counting, then it doesn't go to directly to put away. It goes to identification and goes to your put away bin. Okay. So first, always system looks for process oriented, and to achieve that process oriented flow, okay, what are the layout constraints that are being looked into? So this is logical, right? Because if I look into layout, then I say, okay, from unloading from my PU, from my GR zone, it should put away, it should go via this. But I'm not going directly from GR zone to, put away bin 8001 or 2. I'm going from, basically I'm going from GR zone to counting and then going to work center. So, first we need to know the process. Then only we can say, how that staging will happen, how that uh, movement via some storage type will happen. Okay. So while executing the movements, let's say movement from counting to put away bin, system checks, hey, you cannot do directly from counting storage type 8050 to put away bin 8001. It should go via this. So you do, okay, a two task system will create one task to move from your counting to, let's say, the intermediate storage, let's say storage type 0080, and then from intermediate storage to your destination, let's say 8002 or 8004. Okay, so one more point here is that for layout oriented storage control, we don't necessarily, do it in one step. See, okay. So as I have explained here, here if you see the diagram, it is in two steps. First it's staging here, then it is staging here. Okay, so we said from here to here, it should stage by this. Okay, fine. Then we have also made a config from here to here, it should stage, from GR zone to 80, it should stage to ID point. So it went to ID point. Now we are saying from ID point to storage step 80, it should stage by 81. So it went to 81 elevator. So again we can add another point saying that from 81 to storage type it should go via some pre-bin, pre-storage bin, and then one more. So you can have n number of sequences, right? It doesn't stop you. Layout oriented, you can have, via n number of times. So let's say your task 9012010, you say go via 8010. Okay, the system will create two tasks, one, two. You can also do um, it in two steps. You say, okay, first move it to this 8020, then move it to 8030, and then move it to destination. So you can do it in two steps, right? Then let's look at this diagram now from the point of view of this example. Okay, so let's say this is a process where we don't have LOC. So first, when you do a good receipt, it will move to 8010, and then it goes to destination bin. Okay, so this is your intermediate storage 8010 storage type. So instead of what we say, instead of GR zone, this is the first step is without POSC. This is simple LOC. We say from GR zone to a destination 0010, go via this. But now here you can see we are saying that 9010 into going to packing. Let's say this is a deconsolidation area or counting area. So we say is from source to counting to destination. But what we have said is source to intermediate area, then go to counting, and then go to destination. We can add one more staging, intermediate area here, two, three intermediate area here. So it's never fixed. It all depends on how your warehouse is. How the layout is in your warehouse, how the product moves, how the structure is. In your okay, how the structure is in your warehouse, how the product flows, what are the physical layout restrictions, and what are the process restrictions. All these things, you need to first have a look at in your warehouse, and then only we will be able to design these flows. Okay? So I think what we'll do now is, I think we have less time left. What we'll do is, so this was kind of last topic for our week 5. I just we'll complete LOSC if we have time today, or else we'll uh, do the configuration today and test it tomorrow. So how do we test it? Yeah. So let's say we test it for our inbound. Okay. We say that whenever inbound we want to store it in staging. Okay. Store it in the higher rack storage or fixed. Let's say only in higher rack storage. Okay. We give a staging area here, or let's say intermediate storage area here. Okay. So I'll explain you what physically that will mean. So I'll give a color of staging. I give a color of staging because it's kind of a staging, it's kind of intermediate stock, not a permanent one. So this storage type will give a name, let's say, mm, 8001. We'll give a name 80 I kind of identification point 1. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll create a storage type 80I1, and what we do is whenever we are moving the stock from GR zone into 8001, okay, we will move via 80I1. So anything which goes into this will go via this. Okay, so what it means basically, whenever we are doing a good receipt, system will create a task first here, or we are moving stock on an ad hoc basis from anywhere else. Okay. Sorry, this is door. Oh, I give a color of door. This is the staging area. Should give this color. Okay. So what we are doing is we are saying is wherever the stock is moving here, it should go via this. Same way now I'm going to do is I'm going to assign a small staging area here also. That's it. There is no space. So I just want to put a small area for, okay, let's say we put it here. What we are going to say is 800480034. That means this is pick point. So what we are saying is whenever we move our stock out of our pump, it should go via this storage type and then it should go into GI zone. Okay, or it should go via this storage type and then it should go to packing area and then staging area and then to the loading. Okay, so what we are saying, anything that goes into this should go via this, anything which goes out of this should go via this. Okay, so this is a layout constant. We put it in our warehouse, then we'll put it in the config and then we'll quickly test using some inbound and outbound or internal process. So why this is required? Now let us think from a practical point of view. Let's say, I mean, you guys might have seen my initial video, where we say that the products they come here, they come in, a trolley. Okay, let's say they come in a forklift from GR zone to here. Okay, they come in they come in the handheld dollies, or they can move here into forklift which are of less capacity, or they come in a forklift which are very big. Okay, so it carries 8-10 handling units in one forklift and places it here. Now here there is racking here. Okay, inside there is racking. So for movement from here to here, you need small forklifts, right? You cannot move the forklifts which are the bigger in size, used for movement from here to here. Okay, because this has more capacity, you move 10 handling units, but from here to here you will be moving one handling unit at a time. Here this forklift has lot of weight carrying capacity. Here this forklift has a capacity to place the stock on height, because you have racking above, one above the other, bins above the other. Like bins are 5 level high or 8 level high. So you need forklifts which can carry only one HU at a time, but which can go upwards and place the stock on height. Here we need that capacity. Here, just to clear the GR zone as soon as possible, we need a forklift which does not move high, but at least it can carry 8 to 10 handling units and quickly move to this area. Okay, so this area can be used for your as a material handling equipment change point. Okay, so let us assume that's the reason for our warehouse. Same way here in pump storage, you take a single handling unit and single HU handling unit and move it here. Then you will have a bigger handling unit, bigger truck or trailer which will move your stock from here and take it to your packing and or GI zone. So it will group 2-3 handling units together and move it here. Okay. So if you see here, this could be like this somewhere. So you can see, like, for example, See, this is this intermediate area where you keep your handling units. See, these are bigger forklifts, which will bring 2-3 handling units, and this is a smaller one, which will take this handling unit from here, go inside, and it will need time to rack one about these are all capacity to move high 4-5 levels. Whereas let's say this handling unit, which is moving stuff from your GR zone, okay, so into this intermediate area, this will be this will require a bigger handling units. So let's say, for example, in our warehouse there are forklifts which are coming and storing stock here, and then single handling units are being used from here and stored on this racking. Okay, so bigger forklifts coming here. So this is a very typical example where we change the uh, material handling equipment. Okay, so I think we'll stop here today. I don't want to go into config today because we need to create storage type. So I'll create this storage types or else we'll create tomorrow, and we will test this layout oriented storage control. So tomorrow we'll complete our week 5, and day after two, and maybe from next week we'll start week 6, where we have new topics of creation rule, physical inventory, internal movements, and many more. Okay. So I think just to save time, I'll try to create the storage types in advance today, so that tomorrow we can quickly start with our config of LSC and test it. Okay. So alright, we'll end this session for today. Any questions before we end? Okay, if no questions, we'll end the session and see you tomorrow. Bye.